Hi, and welcome back to another episode of NCBA's Coffee Break, where we sit down with leaders, innovators, and change makers shaping the future of the legal world. I'm your host, Nathan Willner, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Josh Allen, a driving force behind Tratta, which is a company that's making waves in how law firms manage payments and financial workflows. So, Josh, welcome back to NCBA's Coffee Break.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here for my second round of this, of one of my favorite interview slash yes, coffee break.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy the platform. I actually love talking to you. And speaking of which, we're just recently back from NCBA Connect, which is NCBA's large conference, which brought together a lot of energy and ideas in the legal collection space. So, in relation to Trada, how did you feel coming out of NCBA Connect?
Great. We had three of us there, including myself. And that is always a fun conference. This is my second year in a row going to it. I'm sure I've been in the past, but this was really the second one where we've gotten more and more involved. So, being a conference for creditors' rights attorneys, of course, there is a lot of discussion about law, litigation, impending this and that. So for us, going as a technology provider, it's really interesting because we're learning as much as anyone going. We were able to sit down with a lot of clients currently who are up and running, a lot of new clients who are in the onboarding phase, and actually just like, again, get that FaceTime in and discuss like the ins and outs from their perspective, not really ours, which was again, you can't do these things all the time, on a onboarding call or sales call, but having them like pull things up and be able to like go back and forth with all the nuances of where in New York or where in Tennessee are really valuable, incredibly valuable.
I'm really great. I mean, I'm glad that you really felt the energy that I felt because I've been to quite a few of these conferences over my career, but this was a really, really good one. And so it's really exciting to hear how these events spark new momentum, new ideas. So now looking ahead, right, we're like pretty much towards the end of 2025 almost, and 2026 is just around the corner. How do you envision technology for law firms evolving over the course of the next year? And what trends or shifts should law firms in our space be preparing for?
So what we've seen, even with ones who are not working with us, everyone that we've talked to has talked about digitalizing more documentation processes, not just the payments, right? But like turning more like legal documents into things like DocuSign or Adobe Sign, things like that. And although those are very expensive platforms to use, like at scale, it's cheaper than paper, right? So a lot of law firms, even again, I'll quote one, the best that I can remember, which was that we know all onboardings, or we know everybody's slow. So take that, and we're slower. They're still much faster than I would say your average client like 3 years ago, which is like awesome. And turning a lot of their processes into like digital workflows and being able to show them what we can do has like broadened that horizon. So what I'm hoping to see in the next year is basically the interoperability of more technology in the law firm space where again it's not just always about payments, but it's about like reducing just operational workflow like overhead in terms of this goes there, this has to go there to get signed, basically just centralizing a lot of these things. It's a it's a it's a very exciting place right now. It's like it's where we put a lot of eggs in this basket of working with the law firms. Everyone's like very engaged, and I think that is a great place to be, even for the firms themselves. It's gotten very fun.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that the industry has embrace technology. That is very a core piece of what all law firms are doing. So it's not something that we're well, you know, that's not for us. But more than that, I think what you said was really great. Is that onboarding does take time, but the process has gotten shorter because I think everyone is speaking the same language. People understand what is expected. They understand a little bit of what the software provider is offering, and that's really great news because that means that law firms can get to use your platform to get to into the Trata system faster, which means making their life easier faster, right? So that's pretty
It
amazing.
it is. So we had an initiative this year to take our onboarding time down to 30 days, which is like out of control. That was like my blue sky number. Uh, we're on a good path. It depends on the size, of course, of any firm because some have much different. But by doing that, it actually helped by defining them. Look, what is actually needed right now? There can be a lot of distractions, even in our own ecosystem. But what do you actually just need to get live? And then once you're there, you can add on these things that you're more unfamiliar with or you don't do. And but like let's just make sure the nuts and bolts are there first because that in itself is already like a lift. And so yes, we've worked with clients on speeding up onboarding. We don't want to be stuck in like that perpetual onboarding cycle for the next like 9 months with somebody. We don't think that, especially with lawyers, right? You charge by the hour. That's like the worst. It's like probably the worst thing in the world for them is like, man, we're spending so many hours on this, and yet we haven't gone live yet. So taking that taking that for what it is, us going live is important. And then but being able to do that, again, we get to see what matters most. And you said speaking the same language. Very true, all the way except for, and I'm going to screw it up, stipulated judgment, consent judgment, judgment order, I think. Every region has their own. That's the one I'm like, okay, what do I even call this anymore? Because every state, but everything else is relatively the same. Just that one is that one throws me off.
Yeah. No, there's stipulated dismissals, there's affidavit judgments, there's just default judgments, there's consent judgments, there's enforced judgments. Yeah, so and and different states call it different things. So I get you. So, but that's a fascinating outlook, and I think what's really great is like we're speaking about looking towards the future and being forward thinking. And I just found out, and I think it's a great idea that Trana is currently conducting a survey. Could you tell us a little bit about, what the survey is aiming to uncover, and more importantly, why should law firms listening to this respond to your survey?
First one, you can do it in 5 minutes. Although we have a client who said it took them 40. I think they overthought it, but good for them. They put a lot of effort into it. It's only 20 questions. So to me, that's like a 5 minute thing. So we developed this survey uh, to really hone in on what we call like digital readiness. And we developed a scoring model and some like again, very well thought out questions. The scoring model was created by someone on our team. It's like weighted. Definitely it's beyond me by a lot, and it goes over four main areas. And what we've learned so far from it, well, I'll go with the four main. One of them is like agent enablement. So collectors, how is a firm enabling collectors to adopt digital technology, right? So there's always this funny gap that you adopt technology, the collectors just stay where they are, essentially. And now you have like this widening gap of technology and then like legacy processes. And so these first five questions in it are really based around like, what have you done so far to actually train or allow collectors to adopt any technology, even on a surface level? And second one being compliance and QA. So, tracking things, tracking things online like you would over the phone. Is it the same? Is it different? The other one's conversion economics, which of course is, are you getting what you pay for? And how are you able to track it? And the last one's like data integration, the one that kind of data and integrate, the one that ties it all together, which is, are you looking at it in a way that everything is in its own silo, or are you able to tie it all together? Now, those aren't obviously those are not the questions, those are more the ideas behind the four independent sections. It is a we might have to throw a bell curve on it, but the industry is right where you would expect it so far from what we're seeing, which on a scale of 1 to 100, it wouldn't be a passing grade for everybody, but I think that that shows that it's a very good grade overall. So what happens is like you take it 5 minutes, you get a score back, you get your individual section score and an overall score. And then we are not marketing to any of these people, which is like, again, we want it to be a very non-biased, uninfluenced survey. And then what we hope to do is come out with a benchmarking report of where the industry is in terms of this journey, because realistically, I think it's right where everyone would expect. We just put a number to it.
Yeah,
Um, it
that's
definitely
exciting.
go on.
No, I was just saying that so it's not, and I just want our listeners to really understand that this is not a way for you to grab their information or bother them later to sell them something. This is you're really just trying to get a handle on where our industry is, how much technology has seeped into the day to day of the operations of a law firm, and really, how can you make your product better and give the customer what they need. So it sounds amazing and a great opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, maybe it's like a bad business decision, but I mean, I find it like fascinating to see, because even like some of the most evolved companies have left some comments at the end, and these are like problems we cannot solve ourselves, but it's like really great to see where like the forward thinking is, or the any thinking. And we kind of put it in these four quadrants, which is like emerging, developing, and scaling, and then leading. And of course, most of the industry is in this developing phase, and that's like that's literally that's perfect. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's everyone falls right in this perfect area, and it's we were joking before we started this that if everyone was getting in the leading, we would just it would have been wrong. Like just everything would have been off. Like there's no way anybody should like really be in this like top percentile. And so which is also nice because people don't lie on surveys apparently. Um, they've been answered very well. But of course, the more people we have do it, the better like the end report will be. So it's not influenced by like outliers. And so yeah, the biggest thing is of course we're definitely not calling anyone, emailing. We just email the score and then we're done. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like a great opportunity for firms to not only contribute to the industry, but also benefit from the findings. And it would be interesting to see how they look. So we'll be sure to link to the survey in the our show notes. They go under our recording. So we've come to the end of our coffee break, so to speak. Josh, thanks again for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to hear what Tratta is up to and how you're helping law firms stay ahead of the curve. And just so excited to hear that you had a great time at NCBA's Connect, and that it was really valuable to you and your company. And that means everything to us. So
Yeah,
happy
absolutely.
to hear that. Any final closing words for our listeners?
I would just say to you and the rest of the NCBA team, keep making it fun and enjoyable to come back to, like you all have, and for all the listeners, I think that this industry is again really exciting to be in right now, and that it is trending in just an even more exciting way. And I don't know if many outside of this industry would say this, but I love it, and I just think that this whole embrace of like new ideas is very empowering. So keep going.
Well, thanks, and we appreciate the feedback, and we definitely appreciate the compliments. We do feel just like you do, Josh, that this is an exciting and innovative space and area in the law, and so keep on doing what you're doing because you're adding a lot to the efficiency. So thanks again. We really appreciate the conversation, and to our listeners, thanks for tuning in today. Until next time, stay curious and stay caffeinated. Have a great day, everyone.
See ya.